This is the Instant Pot Duo 7-in-1 electric pressure cooker. I've had this for a bit now and a few people asked me about it, so here's my take. I bought this mostly because I wanted something that could handle simple meals without me standing over the stove the whole time. I cook rice, beans, soups, shredded chicken, stews, and sometimes yogurt in it. I don't use every setting all the time, but the ones I do use have been useful. The size I have is the 6-quart version. For me, that feels like the right middle size. It is big enough for a few days of food, or dinner for a small family. If I make chili, soup, rice, or pulled chicken, there's usually enough left over. If I were cooking for one person only, it might feel a little large. If I were cooking for a big family, every day, I might want something bigger. The stainless steel inner pot is one of the things I like. I've used non-stick rice cookers before, and over time the coating always made me nervous once it started getting scratched. This pot is plain stainless steel, so I don't baby it as much. I still don't scrape it hard with metal tools, but it feels more durable than the coated pots I've had. Setup was pretty simple. I washed the inner pot, the lid parts, and the sealing ring before using it. The lid takes a minute to understand if you have never used one of these before. You have to line it up, lock it, and make sure the steam valve is in the right position. After using it a few times, it becomes normal. The control panel looks a little busy at the start. There are a lot of buttons, and I honestly don't use most of them. I usually use pressure cook, sauté rice, slow cook, and keep warm. The preset buttons are there, but I find it easier to set the time myself once I know what I'm making. In real use, the pressure cooking is the main reason I keep using it. Dried beans are one of the best examples. Before this, I would either soak them overnight or cook them on the stove and keep checking them. With this, I can put in beans, water, or broth, seasoning, close the lid, and walk away. It still takes time to come up to pressure, so it is not instant in the literal sense, but it saves me from babysitting the pot. That pressure buildup time is something worth knowing. If a recipe says it cooks for 20 minutes, that does not always mean dinner is ready in 20 minutes. The pot may need 10 to 20 minutes to build pressure, depending on how full it is and what is inside. Then it may need time to release pressure. So it is faster for some foods, but not magic. For rice, it works fine. I still think a simple rice cooker is a little easier if all I want is plain rice. A rice cooker is smaller, lighter, and more automatic for that one job. But if I already have this out, I don't mind using it for rice. The texture has been consistent once I got my water ratio right. The sauté mode is more useful than I expected. I can brown onions, garlic, or meat right in the pot before pressure cooking. That means I don't need a separate pan. It does not feel exactly like using a wide skillet because the pot is deep and narrower, but it works well enough for most meals I make. I've used slow cookers before, and this can replace one for some meals. That said, if someone already loves a basic slow cooker and only makes slow-cooked meals, this may not feel necessary. A slow cooker is simpler. This gives me more options, but it also has more buttons and more parts to clean. Compared to a stovetop pressure cooker, this feels less stressful to me. I know stovetop pressure cookers can be great, but I never liked watching the heat and pressure. With this one, I set it and let it manage itself. I still stay aware of what I'm doing, but I'm not standing there adjusting the burner. Cleaning is not bad. The inner pot comes out and washes easily. The lid needs a little more attention because of the sealing ring and steam parts. If I cook something with strong smell, like chili or curry, the silicone ring can hold that smell. I ended up getting an extra sealing ring, which helped. One ring for savory food and one for milder stuff. Makes sense if you use it often. One thing I noticed over time is that the lid can be a little fussy. If it is not lined up right, it will not start properly. It is not a huge problem, but it can be annoying when I'm in a hurry. The beeps are also louder than I expected. I got used to them, but they're not subtle. The pot is also heavier than it looks. It is not hard to move, but it is not something I want to pull in and out of a high cabinet every day. If counter space is tight, that is something to think about. I keep mine where I can reach it, because if I had to dig it out every time, I probably would not use it as much. The inner pot does not have handles, and I do wish it did. When it is full and hot, lifting it out takes a little care. I usually use oven mitts and go slowly. It is not a deal breaker for me, but it is one of those small things I notice every time. My biggest worry before buying it was safety. Pressure cooking sounds a little intimidating if you have never done it. After using it, I feel comfortable with it. The lid locks when it is under pressure, and it will not just open by accident. I still follow the instructions, keep enough liquid inside, and don't mess with the lid until the pressure is gone. Another concern I had was whether it would become one of those kitchen things that gets used twice and then sits around. For me, it did not. I use it a few times a week because it fits the kind of food I already make. If you mostly cook quick pan meals or you do not like leftovers, it may not get as much use. But if you make soups, beans, rice, stews, meal prep chicken, or simple one-pot meals, it makes sense. I would say this is good for someone who wants to cook at home more often but does not want to manage several pots at once. It is also good if you meal prep, cook dried beans, or want something that can handle dinner while you do something else. It is not for someone who wants the smallest, simplest appliance possible. My take is pretty simple. I like it, I use it, and it has earned its spot in my kitchen. It has a learning curve, it takes up space, and a few small details could be better. But for the way I cook, it saves time and keeps things simple. If you have questions about the Instant Pot Duo 7-in-1 electric pressure cooker, leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer based on my own use. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Thank you for watching.